Did you know at this very moment someone is on Amazon and Etsy actively looking for a quality coloring and activity book to add to their shopping cart? The only question is, will it be yours? Since you're listening to this podcast, hence the name of the show, it's pretty safe to assume that you have a keen interest in creating and selling your first or next coloring book. And it's for that reason I want to assure you you're in the right place. And I'd like to help you make it a reality by inviting you to check out the Coloring Book Creator Mentor Program, the first of its kind complete A to Z course that features live weekly coaching, resources, templates, and an extremely supportive online community, all designed to assure that you create a standout in-demand coloring book that you'll actually enjoy creating, promoting, and selling. Imagine the feeling of knowing somewhere in the world someone is adding your beautiful new book to their shopping cart, investing in a piece of your creativity. Enrollment is open and you can get started by going to coloringbookcreatorcourse.com. That's coloringbookcreatorcourse.com. You're listening to the Coloring Book Creator Podcast, episode 10. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about how I'm using TikTok to promote my coloring book this holiday season. If you listen to episode 9 of the podcast, I talked about how I decided to get over my trepidation about video so I could take advantage of the reach available to us as creators on TikTok. Now, recently, I launched my TikTok channel, and at the time I'm recording this episode of the podcast, I'm roughly at about 57 followers. Yes, a very young account, I know, but nonetheless quite impressive considering a little over, say, 2 weeks ago, I only had about 20 followers. Now, I launched my channel originally back in July of this year, July 19th to be exact, and quite frankly, after I posted that one video, I didn't touch it, meaning I didn't post anything until about 2 weeks ago, late October. And at the time I'm recording this episode, I've posted just shy of 9 videos. I'm sure there'll be more by the time this episode goes live. And while I know that, again, is not a lot, it's way better than what I had considering how much I was doing, which was essentially nothing. I have to say, I'm really glad I've got over my fear about creating content. Quite frankly, as some of you listening may be feeling the same way, I thought, this is going to be a huge time suck for little or no return. I'll have to be on camera all the time, sort of acting like a fool, and I just didn't see the point, to be honest. And then again, if you listen to episode 9 of the podcast, I talked a lot about how many visual artists on social media are rarely on camera. As a matter of fact, of the most popular videos I've come across are the ones where the viewer sees only the hands of the artist creating. So I decided to focus on that, and I have to say I'm not unhappy with the results. My first video was of my hands coloring a page from one of my coloring books, and it wasn't even a completed coloring page. I just focused on coloring a very small section, and again, at the time I'm recording this, that video is only 3 days old and is fast approaching 800 views. And not only views, it's been shared twice, it's getting a lot of traction. So one thing I've learned about this platform is if you find something that works, keep doing more of that. And I'll place a link to this specific video in the show notes for you to go check it out. So this brings me to the focus for part 2 of this podcast episode series. The question being, how can we create content to promote our coloring book and take advantage of the upcoming holiday season using short form videos? And that's the focus of this episode. So what I want to share with you again are my observations at this early point in my own journey of creating TikTok videos. And this segues into an idea that I have that I wanted to talk to you about and share with you how maybe you can take advantage of using TikTok and short form video this season to spread the word about your book. So the first thing that I had to, for myself, and I'm sharing it for you as a listener, is we have to get out of our head about creating content, more specifically video content. Because at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves the question, what's more important to us? How we look, how we sound, fill in the blank with whatever your thing is, Or are you more committed to sharing what you've created? If you have a published book, you took some time and energy and some resources to put that book together. But if you're not talking about it, if you're not sharing it, if you're not giving people an opportunity to buy it, how will they know about it? So again, if we're in our head about creating content and if we can't move past that, we're severely limiting the opportunities that we have to get the word out about something that we've poured a lot of our energy and time and resources into. Now, the next thing that I noticed for myself, again, and I'm referencing it for you as well, is we have to use what we have. One thing I'm very clear about, you don't have to invest in tons of equipment. All you need is a camera phone, some decent light. I'd say good light. Window light's fine, but you can buy some simple lights as well. I'll put a link to a light kit setup that you can use for setting up your videos. Of course, your book, which you already have, and something to color with. Pencils, crayons, whatever your flavor. And obviously a social media account. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, even Pinterest now is adopting short form video. Next, we have to be in the mode of creating the video content. We have to set aside time to set our camera up, or in this case, our phone, and actually record some content. Again, all we're doing is coloring our hands, videotaping our hands, coloring our page. And again, the link that I'm going to provide you in the show notes will show you the videos that I'm currently creating, so you can see how simple this is. Next, we have to communicate and connect. Creating the videos is one thing. Connecting with people who would love to see that video and then communicating with them is the next thing. So once people are paying attention to our videos, how are we connecting with them? How are we communicating with them? If, for an example, someone comments on your video, are you commenting back? Because again, social media is just that. It's social. We have to start a conversation with people if we want them to potentially buy our book in this context. So if someone comments on your video, make a point of commenting back. That's a really important thing. That doesn't matter if it's Facebook, TikTok, anything. It's all the same thing. We have to communicate back. And we can't be shy about providing them with a link to further follow up with us. It could be a link to a landing page. It could be a link to a linked tree. Linktree is a service that we can use that we can provide links to multiple locations where people can work with us. It's kind of like a mini website, but it's just a single page. I'll put the link to that also in the show notes. It can be our Facebook group. It can be to a page. It can be to a link to purchase your book on Amazon, for an example. But it has to be some way to deepen the conversation if they're inquiring about where to get the book or where to learn more. And then the third thing is we've got to be consistent. The one thing that I can say very, very clearly is we have to be posting content regularly. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have to start posting 5 times a day, 6 times a day, even twice a day. If you're just starting out, it's more important that you post perhaps say once a day, as opposed to trying to get yourself to post 3 or 4 or 5 times a day, which is really not realistic, especially if you're new at this and you're still feeling a little trepidatious about it all. Again, consistent meaning pick a schedule that you know you'll be able to stick with and commit to it. Next thing is tying in with consistency is this. If you are using these platforms in order to sell your book, and this is a writer downer, if you want consistent sales, you got to market your book consistently. That's very important. We can't post once or twice a month or every other month and then expect people to pay attention to us, let alone go and potentially buy our book. So we've got to get consistent about creating content. We've got to get consistent about posting in order to get consistent sales to our books. And again, this is why I love this particular brand of short form video for our books, because one, you don't necessarily have to be on camera. in this context, in these types of videos, your book, and more specifically, the page that you are coloring, is the star. Okay? You don't even have to talk. There are literally thousands of audio clips available that you can use, that TikTok already provides, that you can use to enhance your video. What I love about adding music, that it adds a mood, energy, or excitement to the video. And again, I'll place the link to mine so that you can get a sample of what I did and how I know that song coupled with the video and what I colored was able to attract, almost at the time I'm recording this, 800 views. Now, again, the video that I'm going to send you, again, in the show notes here, the song that I ended up using was about coloring. Not specifically coloring pages, but it was about colors. It wasn't a song that I went looking for, didn't even know, haven't even heard of the artist, know anything about it. What I noticed is that TikTok actually suggested this song to me. And when I played it with the video, it seemed like I actually choreographed the whole thing when I didn't at all. All I did was shoot the video, upload it to the platform. I said, I want to adjust the song. I want to find something, kind of upbeat and fun. This song literally was suggested to me. I loved it. I connected it, uploaded it. And like I said, I know for a fact, the page I colored, I never spoke once. You never heard my voice. The page I was coloring, even the colors I was using to a point, matched this song. And so when I connected the two together and published it, I know that's why this video has gotten so much traction that it's gotten. So what I'm saying to you is, don't overthink it, but do start posting so that you can have what I call those happy accidents. Because I feel like this was a happy accident. That seems like I choreographed it, but actually I didn't. Okay. What I will say is that the whole process to put everything together, from shooting the video itself to writing out my captions and my subject line or my keywords, uploading it, adding the song to it, and everything I did to zhuzh it up, it all took about 20 minutes. And again, I would go so far as to say within the first 24 hours after pressing the button on that video had already gotten 600 views. And then within 24 hours, it jumped up by another 150, almost 160 more. Now, I cannot promise you that what you create will get that kind of organic reach that quickly. But what I will say is even my second video that I followed up with that video has not gotten even a quarter of that. It's gotten a lot, but not to that extent. But this ties into what I was saying, what I wanted to share is not everything you do is going to be quote unquote a hit. It is, but that's why consistency is so important, because if you post consistently, you'll quickly see what's working, what's getting more traction, and what's not. And then when you find the thing that's working, you just do more of that. Again, it's not about overthinking. It's just about, I've got to put something out there to see what the audience is responding to. One thing I'm very clear about, and I come from a photography background, from what I've seen on social and specifically on Instagram, which was primarily a photo sharing platform, what I can say very clearly is that photos right now are not getting anywhere near the degree of traction that video content is getting on social media platforms. So again, if you are not taking advantage of video right now, you're missing a massive opportunity, and not just on TikTok, on all of them, all social media platforms right now. They favor video. They're pushing video. We need to be doing video. The bottom line about it is this: either you can get it organically, using what they are wanting us to use right now, which in this context is video, or basically we do it the way, let's say we want to do it, which may be just using static photos and copy. And quite frankly, position ourselves to where we'll have to actually put money into our posts in order to get them seen. As we well seen, Facebook if you publish anything on your business page, no one is going to see that post unless you quote unquote boost it, i.e. run ads to it. So for this season that we're in right now, video content is something that if you want to get organic reach, meaning you don't have to necessarily pay or turn it into an ad, if you want to get that right now, your best bet in this season right now is video content. Okay? So after everything I've shared, I would say this. If you're ready to roll up your sleeves, get your coloring book and your phone, and get started creating quick video content that gets more reach for free while increasing awareness, that'll help you sell more books. If you said yes to all of that, then I want to invite you to actually connect with me and an intimate group of published coloring book authors for our little free workshop that I'm putting together at the end of November called Lights, Camera, Shop. Now, again, in this little mini workshop, I'm going to show you how to take your existing coloring book and make a series of short form video clips that you can post on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, even YouTube or Pinterest, all designed to capture attention and promote your coloring book without hard selling tactics being pushy or salesy. Remember the 3 C's I mentioned a moment ago: create, communicate, connect, and be consistent. The focus of this workshop is going to be to help you create at least 12 short video clips that you can post on your social media profiles from one of your books to increase attention, increase awareness, and give the soft suggestion that your coloring book could be a great gift item for them to purchase for family and friends or whoever they want to give a coloring book to this holiday season. So again, if you'd like to know more about that particular free mini workshop that I'm going to be offering soon, you can use the links inside of the show notes here to either DM me through Facebook and say, hey, I'm interested in the workshop. I'm interested in Lights, Camera, Shop, or what I prefer actually is connect with me on TikTok. And I'll put the link again in the show notes. Connect with me on TikTok, and also send me an email saying, I'm interested in the free workshop, Lights, Camera, Shop. Now, again, it depends on when you listen to this episode, that may not be available, but I am saying now at the middle of November 2022, I'm going to be doing that at the end of November and early the first week in December so that you can take advantage of the holiday season. All righty. One thing that I, again, will say, to be successful online, you must have something that people want. And when you have it, you know, people who love coloring, obviously love coloring books. I'm very connected to people I have one particular person I'm thinking of that has over 200 coloring books. She buys a lot of books. So I know that books are a great gift item for someone who is a colorist or someone that's just looking for a way to relax. Again, this is a great opportunity. I really don't want you to miss out on it. So again, if this sounds like something that you'd like to know more about, do reach out to me either through TikTok or through Facebook. Send me a direct message and I'll follow up with you. Also, I'll put the link to my Instagram in there as well. You can also connect with me on Instagram and send me a DM that way also. All right. So back to what we were talking about. Again, you created content, you're being consistent, you're posting regularly. Now you've got to communicate. You have to invite your viewers of your video to take action with you, whatever that may be. Join your email list, buy your book, DM you like I just asked you to do. You've got to be able to ask. We've got to get into the posture of asking. We're not pushing anything. All we're saying is, basically, if you enjoy this and you want to get this book or you'd like to know more about this book, send me a direct message. That's all you have to do. And then you can follow up with a link to your Amazon listing if your book's on Amazon or Etsy or wherever you're selling it. All righty. Why this is so important also too is, as not just artists, not just coloring book authors, we also are entrepreneurs. And again, all these platforms are wonderful. TikTok, Facebook, all of them in their own ways, they're wonderful platforms. But we have to also remember that these platforms are not going to always be available to us, or at least in the way that they're currently available to us now. TikTok right now is in a season right now where they're really favoring, as long as we give them what they want, meaning they want video content that's engaging, because the bottom line is all of these platforms want us to create content that keeps people on the platform. So if we're feeding them what they want, they'll give us what we want, which is more eyeballs, more viewers, which will increase awareness about what we're doing. And what, in this case, what we're creating. And this is the reason why, again, I love this idea about this holiday promotion, because again, if you're producing 12, 13, 14 videos, all just short clips showing pages from your book that you're coloring with some holiday music maybe laid over on top of it, and some quick captions on there that actually invite people to engage with you, that's a great way to get the word out about your book without having to rely on ads and not having to, and again, even if you're at the beginning stage of building your business online, this is a great way to get the momentum going. Plus, what I love about this process is you don't have to limit it to just the holiday season. Once you've gotten the momentum going of actually creating content, promoting actually showcasing your book, you'll want to keep that momentum going. So ideally, you'll get to a place where you'll be producing a video, a short form video that you're posting every single day. So again, this little workshop series will help you then get the framework down that you'll need to create consistent content that you then will be able to create, connect, and promote. It's the simplest way to get your word out there without having to just relying on someone stumbling upon your book on Amazon and potentially buying it. And even if someone does find your book on Amazon organically, and in this context, I will say right now, if your keywords are not correct on Amazon, if you don't have the right listing title, if the artwork on there is not all that inviting, you will rarely be found on Amazon organically. So as the publisher of your book, if you published on Amazon or Etsy or any place else for that matter, it's your responsibility as the creator, as the entrepreneur, to actually drive people over to that listing so that they will even know about it. So again, this opportunity to take advantage of this promotion, to do something on social that they want us to do, and something I think in a fun way that doesn't necessarily require you to have to be on camera, but allows you to be able to get the word out about what you created, I think this would be the absolute optimal opportunity for you to take advantage of that. And I would love to actually work with you, if it feels like a fit, to actually help you at least get the foundational pieces started that you can then literally just keep rinse and repeat month after month after month. All righty. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the workshop. In this workshop, I'm going to demonstrate how to record your videos, how to edit them, how to write your captions, research your keywords. Alrighty. So again, if this is all new to you and you've never done this before, this is actually a great opportunity to get the basic foundations down of how to put everything together. And again, once you've done it, once you've done this one campaign, you've done this, again, I call it the 12 days of Christmas, or the 12, type promotion. Once you've done this once, you just rinse and repeat it. You just do new pages, you do new music, you try different keywords, and you just keep rinsing and repeating it. So you're never having to wondering, oh, what do I post? Another really key thing, which I would highly recommend you check this opportunity out, is the concept of batch processing. Batch processing is basically essentially what content creators like to do, where they set aside an afternoon or a day, and all they do is just produce the content that they need for the month. So imagine if you sat down and you get all the video shot that you need in one afternoon. Then at that point, all you have to do is just record them, set everything up with your captions and your keywords, put them in draft mode, which I'll talk about more in the workshop. And then on the day you want to publish them, you just go into your drafts and hit the publish button. That to me is the best way to get out of, if you're doing it onesies, one day at a time, if anything comes up in your life that takes you away from that, then the chances are is that you're not going to be able to keep up consistently. And so again, if you set aside time to actually implement all of this, to put everything together, which we will do in the workshop, then all you have to do is just schedule it, or actually in this case, just publish it. So again, I recommend, if there's something that you're interested in, to DM me directly on Facebook. Again, the link is in the show notes. Or you can, message me on TikTok. I highly recommend that you also check, again, do follow me and do watch that video. And I will respond back to your message with dates and times of when this workshop is going to happen. Again, it's going to be totally free. It's sort of like my holiday, I guess, gift to you and everyone who's published a book that wants to get the word out. Again, because I'm also doing it with you. I'm also promoting my TikTok profile and my books as well. So I'll be doing it with you. So again, I just want to highly recommend that you listen to episode 9 if you hadn't already. Listen to some of the additional strategies that Lorraine Dawson, who's one of my students from my Publish and Promote program, listen to a lot of the suggestions that she suggested that you do as well, to continue the momentum on TikTok. And I will say this one last thing about it. If TikTok is all new to you, completely new to you, I have a starter little video tutorial that can show you how to even set your account up. And so if you decide to join me in the implementation workshop to put this campaign together, if you decide to join me for that, I will provide you with a link to go watch that pre-training video before we get together live to actually put together our 12 video campaign. So again, if you'd like to get that, DM me via Facebook. The link is in the comments here on the show notes. Also, or better still, connect with me on TikTok. My link is also there as well. And then once you follow me, then send me a message or DM, and then I will message you back with the link for all of that. And just say, I'm interested in the video content promotion for the holiday season, and I'll get back to you. Alrighty. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you got some good inspirational nuggets. Again, all the links are in the show notes. Again, go back and listen to episode 9 if you haven't already. It's a perfect continuing conversation with this episode here, number 10. And I'm going to be continuing to post more, create more podcast episodes on short form video, more specifically on TikTok, and hopefully, ideally, help even more of you get your books not only done, but have a system in place that you can use to continually market what you spent so much energy and time in creating. So with that said, this is Rodney Washington, your host, signing off.